Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of ADMAIL. This is Adam Bergman, founder and CEO of IRA Financial. I'm here to help you find the answers to the most frequently asked questions from my clients about self-directed retirement accounts. If you want to learn more, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Just search IRA Financial. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of ADMAIL. I'm Adam Bergman, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial. And on today's episode, coming at you with three really good questions from Twitter, YouTube, and a client. And I think you'll get a wide, diverse selection of questions on different topics. So let's start it up right away. First questions from Terry I of Fayetteville, Arkansas. And Terry I wants to know, I want to do a rollover from my IRA LLC to TD. How do I do that? So it's a great question, Terry, and I get this question all the time. And guess what? There's tons of mistakes in this area. So believe it or not, when you have an IRA that owns an LLC and all your cash is in an LLC at a local bank, and you want to now move the money to, let's say, TD to buy stock, what are your options? Well, you can open up a brokerage account in the name of the LLC at TD, and TD has actually a really good and specialized brokerage account for self-directed IRA, so that is definitely an option for you. Or you can roll your funds tax-free from the LLC to IRA Financial as the custodian. So it's basically just a transfer / deposit. It's not taxable, and there's no IRS reporting because it's from the LLC back to the IRA. And then we will send the money to TD as an IRA to IRA transfer, which is tax-free. So those are your two options. You can open up a brokerage account in the name of your LLC with TD, or you can simply move the money back to IRA Financial as the custodian, and you can simply have us transfer the money from there to TD, and you're in business, and then you can trade stock. So just an FYI, we're working on a partnership with Fidelity where we're going to be able to offer robo investments and ultimately stocks through Fidelity. So in the future, hopefully by the end of the year, you will not have to move your money to TD to buy stocks or get into some traditional equities. You'll be able to do it directly through us, which we think is going to be really awesome. So thanks for that question. Really appreciate it. Second question from YouTube. If I want to take a 60-day distribution of cash and then use the cash to buy a house, can I just roll over the house to another IRA in 60 days? So I wish you could do this. The way and the simple answer is cash out, cash in, asset out, asset in. So if you take cash out, and you can do the 60-day in-kind rollover or distribution, I should say, once every 12 months. So if you need some cash from your IRA, you can take it out and use it for 60 days, but you can only do it once every 12 months. Okay, that's the caveat. So just remember that. With a 401k, you're not going to have that option. It's really only with an IRA because there's not going to be a planned triggering event. So if you have an IRA and you need some quick cash, there's no loan option with an IRA. So you can always do that 60-day option where you can do a 60-day in-kind distribution and then return the money in 60 days. If you don't return it, it's taxable and obviously subject to a 10% penalty as well if you're under 59 and a half years old. So you definitely want to make sure that you're within that 60-day period. Now, one other thing to remember is, as I said, you take cash out, you got to put cash back in. You can't take cash out and put Bitcoin back in or a house or Tesla stock. Cash out, cash in. Same thing if you take stock out for whatever reason, you got to put stock back in. Okay, so most people need cash, so they take cash out, and you need to put cash back in. So unfortunately, if you take the cash out, buy a home, you can't put the home back into an IRA in 60 days. It's got to be cash. Okay, so I wish you were able to transfer the cash to any asset and then return the asset to an IRA. That would make sense to me. And I never understood why you wouldn't be able to do that. But hey, I wish I had more responsibility drafting retirement account legislation. I would do some really cool stuff and incentivize way more Americans to save. But unfortunately, I'm not in Congress. Third is from Twitter, actually. Can I make foreign real estate investments with my self-directed IRA? So the answer is yeah. 4975 simply says what you cannot do, not what you can do. And remember, there's only several things you can't do. 408 talks about collectibles like art and also life insurance, which you could do in a 401k, but not in an IRA. And then 4975 of the code talks about prohibited transactions, which basically in sum means you cannot do anything with your IRA that in any way, directly or indirectly, personally benefits you, your lineal descendants, parents, children, spouse, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, as well as any entities you control, 50% or more control. So as long as you are not doing those three categories, collectibles, life insurance, or any transaction outlined in 4975, you can do it, whether it's U.S. real estate or foreign stocks or U.S. stocks or foreign private equity or U.S. private equity or hard money loans to Americans or foreigners. The code does not distinguish between jurisdictions for investments. It just categorizes what's prohibited. So in short, yes, you could buy foreign real estate with your self-directed IRA. And there you go. Short and sweet. 3 really good questions that I think I've done a decent job answering under 6 minutes or so, which is pretty good for me. Usually I kind of ramble because I get excited when I start talking about some of these questions. So try to keep it short and sweet. I value your time. I know you guys are super busy or hopefully enjoying your summer vacation and probably don't want to hear that much from me, just enough to get the answer to these ADMAIL questions. So thank you again for listening. Subscribe if you haven't. Weekly podcast generally drops every Thursday. Also, don't forget to check out 2 of my other podcasts that are weekly. Ad Bits, which is every Tuesday, where you get a bit of knowledge on various self-directed retirement topics. And then, of course, Adam Talks, which I actually did my 301st episode last week. So moving all along, rolling along, rock and roll. It's a lot of fun. So definitely check that out. That drops every Wednesday. And you could obviously pick these podcasts up anywhere you can listen to podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, wherever. You'll find me. So enjoy. Thanks for listening. And really appreciate all the support. Have a wonderful week.